should be live on YouTube.
Check in. Looks good. And sounds good. It does. So, welcome everyone to the Foolish Tech Show. It is a lovely Tuesday morning. Hope everyone had a good holiday and back and ready for the awesome work week ahead. Glenn says, is IRC correct on the screen? No, it looks like Proctor is in the wrong channel. He's in the main channel, not the actual channel.
Should be corrected now. Sorry about that.
Okay. But otherwise, we're here to provide support with our products and services, answer any questions about those. If you have any, feel free to jump over to our IRC chat at www.foolishtechshow.com or foolishit.com/live, and we'll be happy to answer them there. And otherwise, you can direct our conversation by joining the IRC chat there. But we'll probably just ramble on about interesting random news and tech links and various things of that natures, unless you have anything to interrupt us with, and we'll be more than happy to ramble on about that as well. So, looks like we got the Futures Tech crew in there, and Glenn, so welcome all. Eric's gone to blow out a computer. He'll be back in 5 minutes. Man, you need a better air compressor. How long does it take you to blow out a computer, Proctor?
Depends. I've seen some that are pretty bad. I pulled this softball size dust ball out of one time.
How often do you blow out your own computers at home?
Once every 378 years.
That's a good schedule. I actually leave the side of my case open so I can see when it starts to get messy in there, and usually my only concern is the CPU fan and ensuring that doesn't look too clogged or anything.
Mine has a window, but I can't see inside of it. It's too dark.
Yeah, I'm not really worried about it. Nick had a really interesting theory about them being dust being conductive and shorting out boards. But I think we both agreed that it was to the point where like your entire board was covered in dust, like you couldn't see any of the components anymore. Then it might be, but it is true that dust itself is conductive, so it's theoretically possible to short out a board with just dust and stuff. So
yeah, it's certainly theoretically possible, but I mean I've seen some that are really dusty and they were working fine. But
yeah,
who knows if some of the dead motherboards that have come in were killed by dust? You just don't know.
yeah. The worst ones I've seen that have definitely been killed by overheating have been cigarette smoked ones.
Oh yeah, those are awful.
Tar ones just get in there so bad. It's terrible. Yep, Glenn, if you have AVG and antivirus on there and it's not gone, then it could be blue screen of death time. AV has a bad tendency of doing that if it doesn't get cleaned up all the way. I saw you had mentioned you'd started off with the removal of installed antiviruses, AVG and Adaware.
Yeah, anytime that I uninstall an antivirus product, I always run the manufacturer's removal tool also, And if something comes in, I check to see if there are any remnants of old antivirus products and get rid of them because that will cause you some problems or can.
Yes, definitely. Um, Norton used to be the worst about it.
Oh yeah, the best tool they ever made was the removal tool.
Yeah. um, in our opinions, not
Yes, that is
saying,
my opinion.
but yeah, I've had some issues with Mcafee and Norton actually on the removal side. Um, AVG I normally didn't have too many issues with, so interesting that you're seeing that, Glenn.
I've actually seen lots of problems with AVG not um, removing properly
Hmm. Maybe it's
and
something with
breaking
their
after
new.
cleanups.
I know that I stopped using AVG. I really liked AVG back in the day until they went with their Microsoft-esque Windows 10 style updates to their premium product, and that was way before Windows 10 style updates. But they like bombarded you with uh, pop-ups to upgrade to their premium service, and I'm like, I got antivirus to keep pop-ups away from my computer. What are you doing to me? Why are you doing this to me? So I stopped recommending AVG after that point. Um, all right. Well, let's get into some interesting stuff here. How to say that wasn't interesting, but it was. Glenn, I'm glad you're here. Did you know that Australia auctions off confiscated bitcoins? So, like, I also had the question of, do they actually auction off the confiscated cash, or do they just keep that for themselves? Um,
They probably
that,
keep that.
yeah, I was thinking they would do that, but I mean, that's the same thing with Bitcoin. Why are they auctioning off Bitcoin?
Oh yeah, you're right. They should just sell it.
Yeah, they should just take it to they should just do a courier thing online and trade it. Um, Interesting to note, though, over the past weekend, Bitcoin has risen to its highest point in, I think, 21 months. It's actually been continuing to rise past the weekend, which usually, if it goes through the first workday after the weekend, it's going to settle in around that price. But right now, it's at $541. That is a $120 increase since the beginning of the year. Futures Tech Nell, you confiscate Bitcoin when you seize a person's assets, especially their computers, which contain their private keys, and they go to jail and owe a lot of money to other people. Um, yeah, your 0.001 cent could be worth something. I could tell you how much that is in Australian money. 74 cents, Glenn. You now have 74 cents in Bitcoin. Congratulations. And that's in Australian dollars. Or Australian cents, I guess. Um, I am at. Uh, I gotta refresh it. Let's see. I am actually up to $350 right now. So, um, it's pretty awesome, actually. I'm excited. They said that the price had been undervalued by half or more. So they were saying that Bitcoin should actually be valued around the $1,000 US point, but it hasn't reached that high in quite some time.
Bradley, I don't know. The more I read on that, though, I don't know that it's is it just a price correction, because that's not what I was getting off of reading some of those stories. I There seem to be indications that this was a result of China's economy, and there've been a lot of large
I
increase
don't know what the current thing
buy
is for it. I'm
sell.
just saying that it's been long stated that the price of Bitcoin is well
Oh,
valued right now. So
Oh, okay, maybe that's
if the
different.
markets are starting to change, then that makes a big difference.
Yeah, from what I understand, there's a large number of buy sell orders were placed, and uh, regionally where those are coming from and stuff like that is in China. And I guess I'm not a one of these people, a financial person, expert or anything like that, but apparently in China there's a lot of stress that their economy is that they're in a what do they call it, recession or whatever.
Yeah.
So I think that's helping push that up. I'm not sure what the correlation is between those two things is, but that's what some of the stories I was reading about this seem to indicate. But it does appear to be sticking around. I will give you that. And it's seen a lot more activity recently. A lot more people jumped on board. So
Well,
that was good.
there was some other news. I don't have the link to it right offhand. That Russia is considering banning Bitcoin outright. So that could possibly affect it for good or worse, depending.
Completely opposite of what I said. I was like, "Oh, it's expanding. Everyone's using
Well,
it. It's great."
it would be hard to. I feel like it would be something hard to ban. Like, it's not exactly easy to ban Bitcoin.
I mean, what was I saw something else like what was the country that wants to ban Facebook too? I mean, you always hear these things, that they want to do, but it never pans out.
Russia just wants to do a lot, but they can't seem to do it with anything but banks or tanks and bears and malware. Quark wants to know, did we ever figure out which country's intelligence service is being broken into with all people mining for Bitcoins? I did not even hear about that. I must have missed that. So
yeah, Cork, if you could clarify on that, maybe a link or something, that'd be cool.
That would be interesting if they were using Bitcoins as a reward for multi-country influx of processing power.
That's not how Bitcoin works.
I don't feel like SSH 256 hash solving is really going to be
there's no inherent science or benefit or
well, the blockchain, there's a ton of benefit for
to having a blockchain, yes, but
blockchain is a ton of benefit. Like having that, so
they want to put blockchains to basically harden the infrastructure of traditional banks. In other words, using the same similar mechanisms that Bitcoin is.
But having the Bitcoin blockchain already pre-built, they can use that and use it for other purposes. They don't have to use the Bitcoin blockchain for Bitcoin. They can.
No. I know they're using it for the traditional banking. Yeah.
Well, since it's all publicly referenced, so essentially, it's like Bitcoin miners mined all of this stuff and laid it out in public, and now everybody else can use that as a reference and use it however they want, and like correlating money and transactions. And
so that's what this reward that Quark is talking about is where that
it's very possible that that's what it's all been coming down to for that, but who knows? It's just fun to see where it's going to go. I would have paid a lot less Bitcoin for my VPN service, though, if I had waited until May instead of at the beginning of the year. That's the fun part about Bitcoin, I feel, is regret.
But that's probably the case with all type of market investments and gambling, and you always regret. I mean, if you and I had all sat down and said, we know what's going to happen in 2016 with Bitcoin, we would have poured in thousands or tens of whatever resources we could have come up with at the time, probably pull them together and have hundreds of Bitcoins right now worth, what was that worth? Hundreds of thousands of dollars or whatever. Or no, wait, it's 500 you said per Bitcoin, but whatever, but
It
it would
would
have
be
easily
good
paid
to
for
know the
itself.
future.
Yeah. But if
No
that's the
Trump
case,
is
if I knew the
lying.
future, I mean, we'd win every lottery that ever came out, right? I mean, so that's.
All right,
And the
well, let's
future
move on.
is cool.
Yeah, the future is cool. So far, it has been. Um, check this laptop out. That is a crazy ass laptop. It is liquid cooled. It's one of the Asus recent lineup throws, and
Oh, is this the 24-inch one or no? Where's the link?
I don't know. It's huge though.
Wow.
Like I would not be taking that portably anywhere.
Yeah, this is the one that they were talking about.
That is not a
That I saw.
laptop.
Yeah, this is a story I was looking into yesterday, and I didn't see though the specifics of how much it was going to weigh and all that. It looks like this gives a little bit of better idea of
Yeah,
the
that's like
size.
Don't put that in their lap.
Yeah, it's
You
a
might as well
24-inch
carry your
display.
desktop and your monitor around with you.
It's a 24-inch display, from what I understand. So it's got a K series processor, meaning it's unlocked. So this is one, overclockable laptop, and of course having the liquid cooling. It's got the external, what is it called? The graphics connected over Thunderbolt. Um, I mean, I don't know. I just wouldn't use a laptop for this purpose. But whatever. It's interesting. It's unique. And it probably will sell to some specific individuals who need the most performance and then the smallest size and carry it around everywhere. But I
Yeah, well, they
portability
won't
would
be
be
carrying it around everywhere.
no. I mean, but
Rolling it
but
around on a cart, possibly.
no more obese
Yeah, I mean,
gamers. No more obese gamers if they are
it
carrying it
doesn't
around.
look very portable at all.
Well, I mean, more portable than a
portable.
tower.
Yeah, portable to a point, but not like you're going to be carrying it around everywhere.
Except
I would
no,
much rather have the backpack VR PC.
Yeah, but there's really no other way to get the power of something like these new 1070 and 1080 cards from Nvidia into a portable machine without the size. Obviously they're just large cards and they require massive amounts of power. So, well, not that much power actually. They're really good in power efficiency these days. But
Quark, your text dump is fine. You don't have to apologize for that. I actually find it quite interesting. It's very possible that conspiracy theory could be a actual conspiracy, non-theoretical. Um, it's very interesting option for that.
are we comparing Bitcoin mining with the gold with the gold boom on the west coast of the United States?
Well,
Wow.
Quark was talking about possibly something like the NSA using it to find prime numbers.
Yeah.
To break
Oh.
encryption. So
Okay.
it's very, very possible. I mean, the creator of Bitcoin is still anonymous, and that person that says they were the creator is not owning up to it and has a lot of questionable things about them. So it's highly possible, and it could be that they were paid to create it for somebody else to do that, and they wanted to stay out of it. So all kinds of interesting things.
I thought Howard Hughes created Bitcoin.
He probably did. While he was locked away, and he had his pee on the jar, or he had his pee in the jars on the wall, and was like, you know what that looks like? That looks like a virtual currency. I'm gonna create a blockchain right here, right now. It would not have surprised me, actually. That dude was. Did you see the spruce goose? That thing was huge.
Yeah. I think I remember something about that.
I've actually
that was actually probably my favorite DiCaprio movie.
Do you know I
actually see that.
I've seen that
really
plane firsthand. I've seen that plane firsthand, by the way.
Oh, that's cool. It's really, really a good movie.
I don't see DiCaprio movies.
Yeah, I'm not a big fan either, but the older he's gotten, the better he's.
Oh, dude, I just saw The Revenant, man. Oh my God, I can't tell you. Definitely, he deserved an Academy Award for that. Oh my, he was great. He was incredible.
It was all right. It was just a bear.
More than that.
I thought that desktop computer that Asus also revealed was quite interesting, And let's end that Asus talk up because they had a big conference or something recently. But the last point they had on there was the Zenbo. I thought that was pretty interesting too. So that's a robot that's going to replace the Amazon Echo, I feel. Why would you want some portable stationary speaker when you can have a robot? That just makes far more sense to me, even though it is 3 times the price.
Well, because the stationary speaker may not be able to hear you when you go to the neighbor's house, and so it needs to spy on you there.
Yeah, that's why the robot will be able to follow you.
Get up and walk and like a little bush in front of it, and it'll get up and take a couple steps.
That would be awesome. If my Mevo does that, I will be so happy. That'd be exactly what I'd be looking for in a robot. Robot, I told you to stay home. Go back home. Robots never listen anymore, I swear.
Yeah, man.
Michael, don't post Hangouts during the show. It makes Proctor's computer beep.
I know, and it shows off that you're working instead of paying attention.
Yeah. So, well, he was not very happy about the Meebo yesterday.
I guess I'll have to watch that.
Well, that was just the Zenbo. Sorry, that was the robot I just posted. So they converted the Bible again. This time for millennials, it has now been converted to emojicon. So if it had too many words before, now you can read it with emojis. So thought that was a pretty interesting one. So don't call your robot Rover. No, I would probably not recommend that. Another interesting thing that happened is Iran is demanding that all social media sites store their data within their borders. Obviously, so they can have more control and tell them what to do with said data.
I read this and chose not to talk about this because it's Iran, and Facebook is never going to comply with that. They can't. I mean, it's impossible. So,
well, I mean, if you store the data of the users in Iran, like you store a backup copy,
they're not going to comply. I mean, and Facebook is just fine without Iran's, with that. So, and then their people will of course demand that they have access to Facebook. I don't think this is an issue. I don't think.
Well, you don't think it's going to be an issue for what? You think it's going to be an issue when Iran goes, it's illegal to use Facebook here because of that? I mean,
well, they can do that, but Facebook should not comply.
But do you think maybe that's what they might be trying to set the world up for, so they can do it a little easier than just saying, no Facebook. We don't have Facebook because it's information. You shouldn't have information.
Yeah. So in the future, other countries will follow Iran's example, is what he's saying. So
just like we're all going to fall in behind Iran. Oh, Iran's got the right idea.
But they started off making a claim that almost even you could almost justify, but then not.
Facebook will not allow its servers to be under the control of the Iranian government, and if they do, I question Facebook. So.
Well, but that's not the point, though. What I'm saying is they don't want Facebook's data in their country. I'm saying that that's probably not what they're actually after. They may actually be after just the ability to ban Facebook without taking a huge public backlash over it.
Yeah, they're just
because they have a
reason to set the stage for the next step.
Reason.
Wow.
Yeah,
very,
Facebook
very
didn't
possible.
comply with our orders, so now we're going to shut them down, or now we're going to ban it.
And countries have already
do that. I mean, I don't understand.
They can, but people get pissed about that when countries just go, "Hey, screw you."
Well, then they need to understand the lies that
I have no reason, but
then they need to understand the lies that the governments are feeding them. instead of being
Yeah.
okay with it. But I guess that they don't have access to any sort of media to suggest that the government is lying. It's kind of hard.
Yeah, I mean they
TKI
already
Bob,
restrict the media, so
we can neither condone nor support creating malware viruses. That's bad, even if it was for a good purpose.
Who suggested
Hmm.
that? Oh, TKI.
Updated Stuxnet.
I see.
So moving on from that, then, did you know that there is for every ton of fine sifted road dirt, like on the side of the highway, there is around $200 worth of plutonium in it, or platinum,
what?
not plutonium. Sorry.
Yeah. Okay. That's like where the hell did plutonium come from?
Platinum.
Okay, so
Platinum's
why
even
is
better.
Iran just digging in their backyard for all their nuclear armaments?
Platinum's even better, though. Did you know an ounce of platinum's worth about $900?
Yeah, platinum's more expensive than gold.
And it's in what?
An ounce of plutonium is probably
So
worth more on the black market.
Yeah,
it's possible. The side of the road. So what happens, from what I understand in the video, is your catalytic converters have plutonium in them. So they have
Platinum?
platinum.
Sorry,
It's not the
sand.
flux capacitor.
Yeah. So it has platinum inside of it, and every 100,000 miles or so, you end up losing a percentage of it. So if you're on a highway where enough cars drive over that highway and they basically accumulate 100,000 miles in that short stretch of road over a day or weeks, then on the side of the road there is potentially that much platinum on the side of the road. And he goes through a crap load of science to actually extract it from what he started off with cigarette butts, road rubber, and concrete, and even silver was in there. Actually found a pretty decent chunk of silver in the sample size he took. Yeah, I wish it was Fallout Universe. That'd be awesome. But yeah, it was actually a really, really interesting video. They did do a whole lot of science in it, and it is pretty interesting that he was basically saying that the side of the road could be considered a profitable ore mine for platinum. So instead of people going out and mining platinum out of the ground, they could just be picking it up off the side of the road.
Did they do a cost analysis of
the processing, what it would
retrieving
take to get it out? Yeah, I think the retrieval utility did a ton of science. If he did a ton of science, I'm guessing that means he spent a lot of time, effort, energy, and equipment to make that happen. And if that costs,
didn't look like there was that much equipment. It was like he sifted the stuff out, so he got all the large chunks out, and then he sifted it a second time to make it into a fine powder. Then he put it in a oven to heat it up and get things oxidized or something to that effect. And then he used a blowtorch to further oxidize it. And then he
still sounds a bit harder than just digging in the ground.
Verbosed it. Well, my thing about it though is you can think about there's going to be a point in time where you can't dig things out of the ground anymore. So knowing about these and having the processes in place and planned for is going to be much better for our society in the future.
Yeah. I read an interesting article over the weekend, and I finally found the answer to why it's happening. So I read an article implying that there was that the ocean is getting lower amounts of oxygen in the ocean. Well, as it turns out, the reasoning for that is basically iron and rust. So iron oxide, rust, basically, will occur when water, and iron get together and whatever. So all the metal we're basically dumping into the ocean, all the ships that have sunk, all the boats that go across it, anything that would be oxidizing in that area, apparently is what's responsible for the downfall of a lot of marine life that is dependent upon that. Now, interestingly enough, octopuses and other cephalopods, squids and those types of creatures and cuttlefish, they all are booming and it turns, I'm not sure specifically why, but whatever's happening in the ocean as far as either climate change or the levels of oxygen or carbon or whatever in the water, but they're loving it. And I was concerned that the deoxygenation would cause fish and a large portion of our food supply to be endangered, but it's possible also that while we may lose out some fish, we may have so many more cephalopods that we just turn out to eat more squid and octopus. So anyway, just throwing that out.
Wow.
Okay. So a more interesting science fact and fun to watch is the backyard scientist. This guy is pretty awesome. He found out that if you have a pool that is on fire, you can put it out with liquid nitrogen. That was actually pretty awesome, and honestly, Nick,
my pools catch fire so
should-
often.
Nick, you should totally get some dry ice and throw it in your pool because it makes it look badass. Like it gives you that whole fog cover over it. Plus, it actually cools off your pool at the same time. So, I think he said he threw like 15 pounds in there, but that sounds like a lot. But it was pretty awesome. Like it bubbles the whole time and creates that fog, liquid nitrogen look over everything, and it was pretty awesome. Watching
Is
him,
it,
it's pretty cool.
Oh, is that all right? Is there anything to know about that with the I guess saltwater pool?
Ooh, yeah, I don't know. I wouldn't think so. It'd just be watering it down, probably. Well, no, because it would all evaporate, doesn't it? I don't know. You'd have to ask the scientist about that.
I'm still asleep. Not like I know that, but I'm still asleep. Just saying.
Well, I'll give you some sad news to wake you up with.
Crud, don't do
Mcafee
that.
has been turned down for the Libertarian nomination.
Oh, I knew that.
Oh, so no Mcafee 2016.
He wasn't
It's
even
interesting.
close. He wasn't even the third.
Yeah.
He was the third person, I think, on the list. So it's not like I don't understand why.
Well, I just thought it was funny because everybody's been telling me that. I know you, but like no one else told me that. Everybody's like, "Hey, your boy Mcafee." I'm like, "Why is he my boy?"
You're very excited about him running.
I was excited about him running just because of the ridiculousness of the whole thing.
I think you would have been excited about him winning.
I would have actually.
Yeah. I, on the other hand, would not have been. I would actually probably prefer Trump over Mcafee, honestly.
Dang, that's saying something.
I don't know about that.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Well, it's not like the president does anything anyway. Just ahead.
Yeah, for the most part.
But by the way, there's no way liquid nitrogen is going to be cost effective for cleaning your pool compared to.
I completely agree, Eric. It is better for cleaning your pool. At the least, it makes your pool cleaner look way cooler while he's doing it, or they are doing it. It's awesome. You watch that video; it really is freaking awesome.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. I like the little funnel cloud that forms near the fire.
Yeah,
That's pretty
awesome. Thing's
awesome.
awesome, man. So here's another interesting. This is a computer graphic short, and it's about hotel room service, and it was very, very interesting. Definitely not where you thought it was going, which is the tagline that I read to watch it. So if you want to just watch something interesting, watch that. And hey, have you ever wanted to build a Linux-powered computer for your car? Here's a make use of guide to do that. I mean, honestly, though, with cell phones being as powerful as they are now, I'm fine with my cell phone just having a dash mount. I don't really see the need to have a full computer in my car anymore. Do y'all? Like, what else would you do with a computer that you couldn't already do with your phone in your car?
You could use it if you forgot your phone.
Well, I can see certainly
Yeah.
somebody who is doing some
Why
sort
don't we
of
just have a
mobile
SIM card slot in our
hacking,
cars too?
some sort of mobile hacking.
Don't
We
Well,
just
you
have a
have
SIM
they
card
do have SIM cards
slot
in
in the
cars
car.
these days.
don't you have SIM card slots in your car?
Apparently, over the past year, or
But I can't make a call with it without my actual cell phone. I know that.
30% of all
You
new
can
cell
plug it in
phone
your Google Hang.
subscriptions
Yeah,
are
you
for
Oh
cars.
yeah, you have to have your cell phone.
One out of every 3 new cell phone accounts is for a car, not a person.
How is that?
That's crazy.
How is that? What cars have cell phones built in?
SIM cards, a lot of them apparently. people are buying it for their cars.
Was
So, like
it
for
you?
instance, when
You still
That's
need.
weird
bought his car,
because I have a fairly new model car out there that I fairly looked at a lot of options and fairly didn't
well,
find.
Tank was offered an
Well,
option when he purchased his.
the SIM card is only for data use. It's
Yeah.
still a SIM card, but it's only data use. It's not for phone usage.
Yeah, Michael, punk. So tell me, how's 1 and 3?
Well, their cell phone accounts, regardless.
Do they have direct? Are you saying that they have direct?
It's not a cell phone account, Michael. It's just a wireless account. I mean, my tablet has its own account. That doesn't make it a cell phone.
I just want to know where these cars are because I haven't seen one yet and I just bought one last year.
Well, yours is one. It has a SIM card in it. It's just it
Yeah,
doesn't
but
make.
I can't put my Verizon SIM in it and then use it for data. Even I can't do that. I know I can't.
I don't know how the car stuff works.
I
I'm
have
worried about-
a Verizon device that's attached to my ODB2 port that does this, but it's not part of the car.
Maybe they are integrating them into the car now. And
But not
just-
1 and 3 because I'm gonna tell you. Mm-mm.
Yeah, no, I would see.
Okay, here's the article. Here's the article.
Hey, Michael, wherever you're reading the article from is bourgeois.
I would see a whole lot more Wi-Fi networks with my Pineapple riding down the highway. That's definitely not the case.
Well, read the article. And tell
I'm
me.
more
I'm
concerned.
not going to read the article. You've already told me that the source is garbage.
I'm more concerned that people are putting Wi-Fi access points in their car, kinda.
Why not?
What did you just say, Brantley?
I'm more concerned that people are putting Wi-Fi access points in their car.
Why not?
Like, is it still running right now with your car off, or does the car have to be on?
You can configure it. It's configurable to up to 30 minutes, I think, when the engine's off.
Okay, so now think about an entire.
But if no one is actually connected to it, it will, power off.
Well,
and then
I'm
it waits
thinking,
until the car comes back on. You cut it on again.
I'm thinking like in an apartment complex, it's already crowded enough Wi-Fi space. So having an entire parking lot full of additional Wi-Fi spaces is not going to be fun.
It's low powered. It's like very low powered. You're not going to get the signal far out of the car, kind of thing.
I think I could reach it from that room, the basement.
My car?
Yeah. I want to say I could. When I was looking for to connect to your Wi-Fi, I want to say I saw your car's one. But anyway,
too far, but still,
I'm just worried about the airspace. It's getting crowded already, so it's going to be more crowded as things go further, I feel, especially in the Internet of Things age.
Yeah.
Glenn says his Wi-Fi access turns off when his car turns off, so that's the way he has it configured.
Yeah, it's you can do that, or you can have this one. You can have it stay connected if people are connected to it, then for a certain number of minutes. So that's what I do.
Yeah, well, and see, that's what I was saying is most cars have Bluetooth, so I feel the phone's a better option than computer in the car. But the only thing I can think of at this point is having a large built-in display that's touchscreen.
Yeah,
I
and
mean,
a
that
lot of
could
cars
be
are coming out with those. Have you seen the one in the Tesla?
Yeah,
It's like
yeah,
a
that is
17-inch
pretty
screen.
nice.
It takes up the whole center
Yeah.
dash area.
Well, and a lot of cars, just in general, have they're not 17-inch touchscreens, but
I think mine's like 7 or 9. I think, but it's
yeah,
big. I thought it was big, but they don't let. First off, they don't let you use it unless the damn thing's in park most of the time anyway.
yeah.
And
Well, that's the aggravating thing about Bluetooth. It's like I'm a freaking passenger. Let me connect my phone,
I
please.
know, right? What's the problem? Why can't you connect your phone if you're a passenger so you can hook up the music?
It doesn't make sense. Like, obviously, you can tell if I have my seatbelt buckled or not. You should be able to tell I'm a passenger in the
You can
car.
remove the phone. You can remove the phone from the Bluetooth and you can do all kind. You can't add one though.
Isn't that the
You
purpose of a passenger, is to control the music?
Yeah, yeah.
Oh,
Yeah, but and then the music is the only thing you can use on the computer while the car's moving. You can't do the settings or the other apps or things like that.
yeah.
Music apps you can
I
do.
mean, I guess having the openness would
But
be.
why can't? But tell me something. Why can't I only can use the speed dial or something with the 4 slots it lets me put up there or whatever on the home screen, but I can't dial while the car's in motion. So tell me, I mean, what's the point of that? Because you can still dial on your phone, which is even more distracting perhaps than the screen
Well,
in your car, and then
I
you
think they're.
accomplish the
I
same
think
task.
I can
they.
voice dial in my car.
I was about to say. I
I
think
do
they're
too. I
leaning
don't use
more
it. I have
toward.
all that voice crap. I use none of it. I've never
I
even.
think
I've
they're
tried it in
leaning
my
more
car.
toward.
Actually, you got to follow the steps, but it works well. It hadn't caught anybody by accident.
Yeah. Well, that's what I feel is that they're leaning more towards the voice control, and that's why because you can add a device while you're with voice control, I believe.
Oh.
I haven't actually tried that. We'll have to check into
Yeah.
that.
It just bothers me that otherwise the OS on the thing is so limited, but it's limited in dumb ways. Some of
Yeah.
these limitations are intentional and they're dumb, And so,
Yeah. Well, the big thing has been the Apple and Android car versions. So
mhm.
those may become more prevalent, and I should feel like they would be interestingly different than what the manufacturers wrote and
Mhm.
put out,
Oh
probably.
gosh, yeah. Car manufacturers shouldn't be trying to make the electronics in that car.
Yeah, I
They should
totally
not.
agree.
And it's horrible to me. I would love to have like an Android, something. But then again, that of course brings the whole slew of new problems to the table of
Yeah,
exploits that are more common and popular and known and easy to do, numerous,
very true.
instead of somebody knowing exactly what's on that Toyota thing that no one knows what's on that thing.
Yeah,
Or
and
OS they.
TKI Bob pointed out they've discovered device hijacking security flaws in LG handsets, and Eagle Tech points out that next gen Skylake E processor will arrive in the LGA 3647 socket.
Well, actually, okay. So the Skylake, the current ones that are out actually go in 2011, but the next generation, the next ticker talk or whatever the hell it is going to be that socket. But of course, with that socket, it's going to require a whole new motherboard. Currently, these new chips are being put into the X99 base boards based around socket 2011 V3. Now, the socket 2011 V3 has been around a while, and the X99 platform's been around for a while, and so there's some concern about putting these brand new chips into these older platforms, but it's a great option currently for those wanting to upgrade. But I personally would probably wait for this platform to get all the new features sets of the improved platform along with the new processor to take advantage of it.
It
Just my
looks cool.
It does look cool. God, there's so many pins though.
Big
That
fan.
socket looks crazy large.
Yeah, it's huge.
But
It's like when you're playing Wii Sports Bowling and then you find the 100 pin game, and play that.
yeah,
Which
no,
we did with Tank last week. Thanks, Tank. Had fun.
I had fun. That's the first time I'd played the bowling game in a long time. That was fun.
Well,
Yeah.
here's what I don't quite understand though. The X99 current platform, the 2011 current platform, has quad channel memory, quad channel DDR4 support. I'm a little uncertain why that picture there shows 6 memory slots on the left, and there may be another 6 memory slots on the other side of the processor as well. But that usually implies triple channel memory, not quad channel memory. Otherwise, there should be an even, or there should be it should be divisible by 4 evenly.
Way too technical. Let's move on to secret Roku remote commands. This is the one I was saying you would like, Proctor. Apparently, Roku was really into the Konami code because they went all out on their secret codes for their remotes. Did you know about all of these, Proctor?
I haven't read the article yet, but I know about some of them because their tech support had to tell them to me for some issues that I had.
Yeah, I've heard of that. I mean, the fact that Roku has used Konami codes in the past, yeah, I don't think it's been a huge secret, but I didn't know that.
Yeah, I don't think it's too secret.
Well,
I didn't know
apparently
that
they have like
there were that many. But
10 menus of options that you can choose from. I like how the first two are secret menu number 1 and secret menu number 2. I want to know what those secret menus are all about. Because apparently they are not for Wi-Fi, platform, antenna, bitrate, developer, or channel, network, or reboot. So what could they be for? That just seems interesting. Also, if you have some spare cash laying around and you want to spend it on Amazon, 200 gig micro SD cards are down to $60 today.
yeah, that's basically because of Samsung's introduction of that 256 gig model. The previous large one, the 200 gig one, was the older one that's been on the market for a while, and I'm guessing that they lowered the cost of that in response, and that's why it's on sale. I'm going to take a look at that. Some of that sounds very interesting.
480 gig SSD for $100, really? What?
Yeah. Well, I was going to say, do not purchase the SSD portable drive. That is a ridiculous price. Just purchase a terabyte SSD drive and put it in an external enclosure. I have an external enclosure for $15, and a terabyte drive is not more than $250, I believe. So you're saving like $150.
Yeah, those external gosh, I think I got one still in the box right over here. Anybody need it? I mean, those things are $10, man, all day long.
Super easy for that type of setup. So, I really like it. I actually, like I was saying, I use my older SSD drives that I've been replacing with newer, larger ones as just permanent backup storage. Like
I was always just in the habit.
You can throw it around and stuff. So
yeah, I was just always in the habit of doing of keeping actually spare laptop drive enclosures laying around, because the laptop is the number one device that college students and everything else, where we worked and all that, they just be throwing stuff away. They throw the laptop away, but they always want that data. Everybody wants that data, and it was like, and when I went in business for myself in this town, I stocked up on a bunch of empty, portable enclosures for 2.5 drives, because that's why, and it worked out. I would just, bam, here.
Sell them a new laptop and give them their old drive as a backup drive.
Yeah.
Nice.
Here's a review of that drive. That's the $100 480. It actually looks to be reasonable, particularly obviously for the price. But it seems to be a somewhat capable drive. Surprisingly, I would have expected really subpar, like a really low end, slow performing drive to be that price, but really doesn't look like it's fallen short in any particular area. I haven't gone through the whole review, but it's basically up there with most.
The SanDisk Ultra 2 960 gig is down to $213 actually. That's not the extreme one that's in that portable one, but still. $225 for an external drive is much better than $400, I feel. An SSD exportable is very, very nice. So this was interesting. The Microbit computer is now available for £13. It's kind of like that teach circuitry design type computer, I think it was.
Oh,
But
yeah, I remember. I remember
got
something like
the dot matrix display built into it, and it's like two buttons.
yeah. I mean, for teaching kids, if it's well received by the students and it does improve things, like I said, I think it's okay. I just think it's quite a bit limiting, and I can't imagine that. I don't know. Maybe it's just transition. Maybe that's the first step. Maybe the next step is like a pie or something like that. And Element 14, don't they also typically ship pies out as well? They're a big supplier of Raspberry Pis. Element 14. Yeah, I believe they are.
Possibly.
So yeah, they're taking those orders. Doesn't seem to be much of a surprise. I don't know. It's interesting. It's interesting, but I find it to be a little bit too compromising for the types of projects we're working on, I think. But this isn't for us. It's for the kids. So.
It's for the kids.
Thanks for sharing.
Yeah. Well, and speaking of a crowded Wi-Fi area, always be sure to regularly check your Wi-Fi surroundings, because changing your Wi-Fi channel could easily increase your speeds.
Imagine that.
And that goes through and tells you about how to do it with that make use of. So I thought that was pretty nice.
Yeah, I think I saw that in my RSS, and it was something about like it was like
Increase at 5x speed.
one intelligent slash dot or Reddit user points out, and I was like, okay, well, does anybody ever read? Like the literature that comes with the device that you buy, maybe.
Yeah. Well, they don't give you a Wi-Fi analyzer normally.
Normally, well, you can get one from that
Tele.
company too, but and they may even link to it in the thing. I know I have the Netgear one on my phone, or I had it, but yeah, there's a Netgear Wi-Fi analyzer. Works with all their stuff, and it's like one of the other very popular Wi-Fi analyzers. I think they got that, or they bought that or something.
Yeah. The one I've been using for years is the Android app Wi-Fi analyzer.
I think that's it. Actually, I think it's that, or it's one of them, but it's branded Netgear, I think. But anyway,
well, thank you, Brantley, for turning me on to that. By the way, I use that on a regular basis. Appreciate it.
But yeah, you can do that, and plus, I mean, they always tell you this in the manual.
Yeah, possibly. I never read. I didn't even get manuals for any of my routers, actually.
Oh, they come. You might have to download it.
Yeah, probably. But
where the other
that was
information
that.
is like this, all the other usage information.
I need to get online to get the setup to get my online setup. That doesn't work. That don't work out.
That's always a good one. I was laughing at something like that.
Check
like
it.
It's like download our driver at, or something, but network card. But it's like
It's
what?
only like five. The 4 terabyte hard drive listed in that link, Brantley, is an SSHD, meaning it's got a small SSD.
That was a terabyte hard drive, not a 4 terabyte hard drive.
It's a 4 terabyte. Yeah, it's 4 terabyte.
It was a $400 terabyte drive.
No, not the external. No, I'm not talking about the internal. I'm talking about this is a desktop hard drive here. It was not linked to specifically. It was when you say the more sales. But I was just looking it up, and it seems like there's like a $5 difference between it and the actual one that doesn't have the SSD built on board. And while I don't particularly like these drives, I think you should either get an SSD or get a hard drive. Having the SSD, though, to improve the performance of the hard drive at no additional cost, effectively, or $5 in this case, seems like a really good deal to anybody out there looking for a secondary storage drive, or even potentially a primary storage drive for a computer with an existing mechanical HD. Just a thought. I checked that out. The specific Amazon link to that one is. Ooh, that's a long link. Sorry about that. Yeah.
Yeah. You can usually cut it off at the.
Yeah, the question mark.
Not the question mark, before the referral.
Oh, before the ref number, really? Oh, okay.
I'll copy and paste that. Yeah, that's not a bad price for a 4 terabyte drive, though. Always looking for good internal hard
Thanks.
desktop drives, because those are very nice to have.
Well, I've been telling you about my failing drive, so I was considering having to purchase something like this, and probably the 4 terabyte could probably do away with the two that I have failing currently.
You
And
should
even give me
never
some
have
space.
failing drives. You just replace them every 3 years.
Well, they continue to
Literally what
work.
I've been
I
doing.
use them till I run them into the ground,
That's
literally.
literally what I've been doing for the past 7 years, and I have not had a failed hard drive yet. Not
Well,
even
I'm
from
sure
the-
if I was replacing all my drives every 3 years, I'd never have a failed hard drive either. These drives that I'm working with, some of them are more than 7 years old. So I'm bang for the buck, man. And there's a 750 here that's absolutely failing. It has crazy bad sectors. But guess what?
Yes,
I'm still
and I
Sounds
storing
like
it
you're
all.
remember.
dancing with disaster.
Yeah, I remember
Uh,
someone. I would remember someone spending like a week and a half trying to recover their
It's
real.
not, and well, it wasn't quite that. I gave up a lot earlier than that, but it wasn't. This is data, yeah, of course, critical data, but this is these are my movie collections, and I have such a large movie collection that even losing a few terabytes really isn't that big of a deal to me much anymore, and I'm okay with it. And I didn't lose it all. I lost. Well, yeah, I did lose it all, but I can rebuild it. I'm not concerned about it. I know I'm at risk by using drives that are in the process of
Yes, you
failing.
can rebuild it easily because you owned all of those DVDs that you ripped, correct, Michael?
Yeah, absolutely, or digitally purchased.
Where could you download movies without DRM?
Um, Once it's in my hands, I can do whatever the fuck I want with it.
You can't download movies without DRM. I don't think there's a service online that offers that at all.
Michael, your dirty language.
Yeah. Yourself.
Very pale
I
she
was
of
I
light.
wasn't gonna point it out because now, but anyway, thank you. Because Michael, stop it.
Yeah. You've cursed like 5 times today.
What?
Yeah.
That's the first time I remember doing it.
Morning. Save it for the Friday show. That's the Friday show thing.
You're gonna have to fill up the curse jar after we get off here. We're gonna have.
Are we doing that? Are we actually do? Are we going to do that?
No, you should do that.
No, I'm serious. No, as a company.
Oh yeah, yeah. I guess Proctor, how hard would it be to deduct people's paychecks for cursing?
Pretty easy.
Sweet.
Can we do that?
Michael,
We can't do that.
So, like
is that legal?
$5 a cuss word or what?
Take
Is
away
that
bonus.
legal though? Is this,
Oh wait, that means we have to give a bonus.
yeah.
And then does
Yeah,
the
I
person
guess
with
you
the
could.
lowest amount of cuss words get to like have the fund? Or
Well, no. I think you'd have to do it the reverse way. So you offer a bonus to start off with, and then the more you curse, the less you get of that bonus.
Yeah, I know. And then I was like, but then we have to offer bonus.
Yeah. It has to have a bonus start there.
Okay, think of something.
So, Futures Tech Cherie, Microsoft released a alert about a new ransomware strain called Zcryptor, which works like a worm and spreads via removable and network drives. I think Phoenix had pointed that out either on Friday or one of the links from yesterday, I believe. Or maybe it was TK Bob pointed that out. Unsure. But yeah, so they've been. I actually brought up an article where people were predicting that's going to be the next evolution is worming ransomware and then going into the next level. I forget what it's called, but yeah, it's definitely going to be something where they're going to start expanding as things get worse and worse. So
I like that, Glenn. I agree, TK Bob, and I like that, Glenn. A box of tissues on the desk with the label, "I did not back up."
Good one. Good one.
Here, here, have a tissue.
Yeah.
Have that.
Yeah.
You should have that on your check-in counter. And so, like, no, that would be an awesome talking point and a great way to sell
Yeah.
it. Is you just have a box of tissues on your check-in counter that says, "I did not back up," and people are like, "What? What does that mean?" And you're like, "Well, you'll be sorry and you'll be crying."
That means you'll need one
Yep,
of these.
that's a great idea.
So now you should.
It's a good way to get the conversation started about performing proper backups.
Yeah, exactly.
I like it.
All right. Well, we've reached our hour time limit for the day, so I think we should go ahead and wrap up here. I'll throw out one last link here, just a fun one. Someone hacked a skateboard with a drill, and now they can power themselves around. Scooters be danged.
Huh.
I just thought that was pretty interesting. So other than that, we will be back tomorrow at 2 p.m. And again, we're here to answer any questions about our products and services. We are in the current process of testing out a hopefully updated build for Crypto Prevent Beta with a lot of nice cosmetic features added that I've spent a junk load of time on doing because Michael keeps asking me for features instead of just telling me bugs. And I think it's actually a little bit worth it. I don't know if it was worth all the time that I spent on it, but anyway, we'll let you know when that's out. We're going to do some internal testing once these guys get off the show here today, and I'll fix up any remaining bugs from that, and then hopefully we'll have a new build of that out. And otherwise, we'll see y'all tomorrow's. Take us on out, Proctor.
Bye, internets.
It's so dumb.